This is the Newsload.
Hi, I'm Carrie Anne Stevenson, and I'm here with Newsload, and I am so excited to be able to interview Bryan O'Gorman. Hello, Bryan. How are you today?
I'm really good. How are you doing?
I'm so good. So good. How does it feel being, shouted out by Yuck Yucks being the hottest new comic?
Oh man, I guess it's flattering, but I'm 40 years old, so if I'm the hottest young comic, the standards have changed.
Well, they got like the 60 and the 70-year-old guys who've been around for
Yeah, that's what I don't know. I think I'm but I don't know, maybe 40 is kind of like the pocket for comedians. I always like comedians between the ages of kind of like 40 and 60. That seems to be the pocket for a lot of dirty old men, you know?
I did Niagara Falls Yucks, and there's this up and coming kid. He's 22 and he's good. And it bothers me that he's just a baby and he's just naturally amazing.
Oh, really? Well, yeah, I think some people just have it in them, you know what I mean? But mostly it's still like a craft you have to get good at over years and years. So even if you have that kind of energy for 5 minutes or 10 minutes in the first couple of years, doing like a whole hour is a whole nother thing. And I don't know, not putting them down or anything, you know, if somebody can do it. But I mean, I think the only people at like 22 have done that are like Eddie Murphy and Keenan Ivory Wayans wrote a lot of those jokes and stuff. So, but yeah, like I don't know. But if that happens, if one day there's an ordained, you know, like from the comedy gods, like somebody comes down, it's just like amazing at stand-up at that age, I say that's a good thing for comedy, you know, be cool.
It is wonderful. It's also, like just so like I'm filled with a little bit of jealousy because, it's like, oh, you just have it. You're just amazing.
Oh no, I think they probably work at it, or there's some kind of like pain they've gone through early on that allows them to relate to people on a higher level.
Like high school bullies at 6 being able to like learn how to deter.
Yeah, for real. There's people that have been practicing doing stand up, but not on a stage since they were kids for survival, you know, and, just to like be like the funny person so they don't get beaten up. And that gives you chops, whether you're on stage or not, you know, and then sometimes you see them and you might not see the things that they've gone through. But I feel like when people have that confidence, they're that good on stage, there's something behind it. It's not just like a natural thing usually.
Yeah. So I see that you've done the Edinburgh Festival, you've been to Serbia and the Czech Republic and Singapore.
Wow. Those are my biggest credits. I've been to some second world countries. Yes.
You're practically Captain Jack Sparrow of Pirates of the Caribbean. You've been to Singapore.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I've been trying to make myself as piratey as possible the older I get. You know what I mean? I really am. Like I'm just leaning into it. I think
you need to grow your hair out a little bit more and throw in some dreadlocks in there.
Yeah, but it's too old to die young now, so I'm just gonna lean into this getting old and creepy thing, you know?
What's Singapore like?
Oh, it's beautiful. It's really interesting. It's like it's a bunch of different cultures there. I think there's like 4 or 5 different national languages. So there's all these different cultures all mixed in together, and it all works really well. They're all really kind to each other, you know. And yeah, the shows there are really neat. My friend Jonathan Atherton, he used to do them. He died a couple of years ago. He was like a real wild man who was like an English speaker who consolidated all these English speaking tours through Asia. And the whole time he's just like Hunter S. Thompson, kind of in the middle of Southeast Asia kind of guy. In all these countries it's very dangerous to live how he was living, you know, partying all the time and stuff like that. And he was just doing that for decades and doing comedy shows. And I was lucky enough to meet him before he left this realm. And yeah, he's a real character. If you ask anybody in that neck of the woods, he kind of started the English speaking comedy scene in Asia, which is weirdly huge. So yeah.
That's amazing. That's an amazing experience. And Edinburgh, like they speak English, but it's hard to understand.
Yeah, kind of. That's English, sure. Yeah, no, that's a cool place. I was like, that's a long time ago. That was 10 years ago. I was talking to my friend Kyle Lutzi, who's over there right now. He's a really good comedian who works with Yuck Yucks too, and he's doing the Edinburgh Festival right now. It's like something like 2,000 shows a year, right? So it's like there's so many people and comedians and performers everywhere. It's just a real sensory overload, and it really makes you, I think, better at comedy. But it's very difficult to go through. And I was talking to Kyle, and he's like, "This is crazy. It's so tiring. It's nuts." And I was like, yeah, man, that's kind of it. Like you kind of you can do like so many shows. Like in a month, I think I did, I don't know, like 70 something like you can just exhaust yourself because there's just shows all day long. Um, but it's a ton of fun and it's really fun to throw yourself in the middle of it. But that was a long time ago. That was 10 years ago. I don't know if I have the energy for that now, but I'm totally gonna go back. I think probably next year or the year after for a week and a half. I don't know if I can do the whole month anymore, but
Do
I'll
you
go
have
for
a
it.
bit of Scottish in you, or is it more Irish in the O'Gorman?
It's a bunch of stuff. My name's very Irish, Bryan O'Gorman, but like my background is, yeah, there's a lot of Scottish, there's a little bit of English too, because we're not most like most people, not only descended from the people who were oppressed, but also the people who took them over and had sex with them. You know what I mean? So we're all part oppressor, part oppressee, and yeah, so I got a lot of yeah, I'm a European mutt, I guess you could call.
But it looks like you have a little bit of red in your beard. Is that the Scottish?
I don't know what that is. I think if you go back far enough, it's some kind of druid. But I don't know. I don't know where I'm trying to get over this nationalism stuff. Like, I just all these different genetics, and everybody thinks they're like the coolest genetics. They're like, oh, I'm German, Lithuanian, and in your head you care, but I mean, nobody else gives a shit. You know what I mean? Like, it's such a oh, I'm Irish. I'm this. Here's the thing, because of my name, there's so many Irish dudes that want to talk to me about Ireland, and I've never even been there. And I guess culturally, I'm pretty Irish. Like I was raised Catholic and stuff, but like I don't, yeah, I've never even been there. So everybody wants to be like, what about the politics in Dublin and this and that? I'm like, you know, I'm from Toronto, dude. I don't know. You want to talk about skateboarding or, you know, comics? I'm here for you. But anyway,
I had the pleasure of being able to finally see you perform, and it just happened to be the night that Trump got shot.
night to remember. Wow, yeah, that's wild.
It was
Yeah.
amazing. It was amazing, first off, that you were able to like walk
Oh,
on stage and go, so Trump got shot.
yeah. I just didn't want to like not say it. Plus, I wanted to be a person that some people found out from. You know what I mean? I know that I'm going to be in their memory forever, being like, I'd at least say it in a gentle way, so it wasn't attached to some kind of rhetoric.
It's definitely going to be part of conversation. Like a lot of people are like, where were you during 9/11? Where were you during when Trump got shot? I was at Bryan O'Gorman's show. It was insane. And the reaction from the audience, because my girlfriend had texted me before the show, so I
Hmm.
knew, but you going on and being like, so Trump got shot. He's fine.
It was fine. It was fine. He dusted it off pretty quick.
He was
Yeah, I don't
golfing
know.
the next morning. It was impressive.
Yeah, you were lucky enough. You and 18 other people in London, Ontario were lucky enough to have me tell you that Trump got shot. Hey, but I hope I'm glad he didn't die or get hurt because that would have given a reason for every hillbilly with an AR-15 to walk into the middle of a city and be like, the revolution is here. And oh,
Oh yeah,
dang,
like January
somebody's
6th was
looking out.
bad, but like that would have been insane.
Yeah, 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 man. I don't even want to think about it. But now it's interesting watching this race because I don't know, like I don't have a stake in it, and I try to stay out of it to the point. Well, not like stay out of it, but it's just that I don't feel like I'm on a side. I don't like being on a side. Like I don't want to be a left or right or up or down. I want to be like a human that's right here and we'll talk about what's good and bad for humans, and not this kind of flag waving side taking. Like I don't want to choose a side. I wish I had more middle fingers for all of you because I don't. give a sweet cock about choosing a side. I think everybody's frustrated with that stuff.
Oh, I'm
It's
sure.
really,
I'm sure.
yeah.
But speaking of humans, have you had any crazy fans bother you?
I mean, not crazy enough that I wrote a Netflix series about it, but crazy enough, I guess so. I mean, sometimes people wanted to attack me. That happened here and there because of just, I don't know, I made a lot of religious jokes or jokes about things people hold dear or whatever. But I don't I don't come from a hateful place or like I'm trying to hurt people. But you can't control who watches your stuff and how they interpret it. So like even though I'm coming from a place of love and trying to make you happy and trying to make people laugh and bring people together, some people might not see that. And my humor isn't going to translate to everybody. And some people misinterpret that as me wanting to hurt them. Some people think clowns are trying to hurt them. It's a real serious sickness in today's society. There's people that legitimately think clowns are trying to hurt them with words, and that's not a real thing. And I'm a clown, and sometimes people see me and they go, "Oh, look at his red shoes. He's evil," and then they'll throw a glass at you or something. But at this point, it's just par for the course. It's just it's what I signed up for. I knew some things would be flying at my head here and there. I'm okay with it.
But no ladies have thrown their underwear at you or anything.
I wish, man. I tell this to people all the time. Like, I'm a comedian. I'm not like, if you're in a band, check this out. If you're a DJ, you don't even need to play your own music. You just play other people's music and you stand there and people will do cocaine with you and play with your wiener. If you're like comedians, it's like, yeah, I guess it happens, but it's like, again, I'm a clown. Like, not a lot of girls like, ooh, I want to fuck a clown. It's more like oh, hey, a bass player is like the guitar is phallic and gets me wet or whatever. It doesn't happen that often with comedians,
But
but
a microphone is phallic.
I guess so. But it looks like I'm the one, taking it, so it's not. And I'm okay with that too. But I don't know. Like, there's been, I don't know. If it happens, I'm so self-conscious that I haven't noticed it. But maybe it is happening.
So you've been to the Just for Laughs festival?
A couple times. I don't. It's a long time ago too. I did a competition there or something in the middle of the day, and I don't know. It's really French, and that company turned into something weird, and I don't know if I'd ever like go do it again. But hey, they got bought by somebody new. Just for Laughs got sold, and somebody new bought it, some French guy. So maybe he'll be better
Yeah.
than the people who took it over and laundered a bunch of money through Canadian arts grants. Excuse me.
Yeah, maybe it'll be better.
Oh man, let's hope. The guy paid $25 million for it, and he's gonna like really sink into the French stuff. So I think that's good because it's what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be a cultural thing for the French. We can get our own festival going in Toronto where we don't have to listen to French. And then you know what I mean? It'll be great. All right. You guys do your stuff. You can steal all the grants you want and deal with all the, all that famous up and up business that goes on in Quebec, all that totally legit business that happens in Quebec all the time. And that'll be great. And maybe we can get some of the business people that live in Toronto to get off their asses and get a festival going on in the biggest city in Canada, the fourth biggest city in North America. And we don't have our own comedy festival. Maybe we should just have different festivals. So I'm hoping to, hey, maybe I should do that. Hold on. I need a pen. Sorry,
I heard that Montreal is the head office for Pornhub and YouPorn. So
what was that?
Pornhub
I've
and
heard of it.
YouPorn are in
Yeah,
the head offices in Montreal.
cool. Yeah, yeah. Also, I think Brazzers is in Montreal. Um, my friend Patrick Hakeem has a joke about it. He used to write for Brazzers, and they were in Montreal. But yeah, I don't know. There's a real. I mean, look up corruption Quebec. There's a real history with it there, and I don't expect any of the arts grants going through there, or anything else, to be on the up and up, like any other business would be in that anyways, but hopefully the guy who's coming in now, he seems more artistic. He seems cooler. He seems like maybe he cares about more than just yachts and blow. So my fingers are crossed. But,
Yes, I'd love to be able to do just for laughs if it's an up and up event, but we'll see.
oh man, like I'm not saying, it's just the stuff that company went through in the last little while. As a Canadian comedian, it was kind of hard to take some of the stuff that was going on because they got taken over by an American company and all this stuff. And, it just seemed like they weren't really trying to give, they were taking grants and then they were supposed to be giving it to like Canadian artists. There's arts grants that are supposed to be for Canadian artists. And they were taking those grants and then paying Americans and bringing them in and, stuff like that. It's like good to have those people and bring in like big names. But if you ever saw the posters for JFL, it was always just like literally it'd be all Americans and then like one Canadian in the corner or something like that. And you're like, that's our grant money that's supposed to be for our artists.
Yeah.
And they would give it to a Canadian producer and then go do blow with celebrities from Hollywood in Montreal with our money, with our tax dollars. And it's I mean, call it what you want, it's money laundering. And so anyway, I think people exposed that a lot of that company went bankrupt. And they put on some great shows for Canada, but hopefully now with its new inception, we'll actually be like compensated properly and be able to do the shows and maybe be a little more giving with our artists instead of taking.
For sure. Have you worked with anybody that's left you starstruck? Any celebrities?
I just get generally nervous around people. So if you're a celebrity, I'm going to have to talk to my therapist for a couple hours before I meet you. Otherwise, just isn't going to work between us. But I guess it's who I view as a celebrity. The changes, like, so I guess other comedians make me nervous. Like I get starstruck by people like Doug Stanhope I met one time. He starstruck me. I had a hard time talking to him, but he was very kind. And you could tell he had
Doug Stanhope. Yeah, he's amazing. He's a rock star for sure. That's very cool. What'd you talk about?
Well, I just was outside having a cigarette at this bar he was playing, and I'd kind of given up on trying to get a decent seat in this place he was playing. And I went outside to smoke in frustration, and he was out there smoking. And I was like, oh, hey, man, like, I'm a big fan, whatever. And I can't remember what we talked about. We were both pretty drunk. About Toronto and stuff like that, food. I don't know. It was a good like 10, 15 minutes. It was like sometimes I've met people who I revere and then I regret meeting them because they're kind of mean. And I'm like, my view of them changes forever. And, but luckily in comedy, that hasn't happened too much. It mostly just happens with musicians I've met.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, is there anything coming up in the next few months that you want us to know about?
Yeah, in Toronto, if anybody's ever there, I do a show called Dark Stars every month at Yuck Yucks in Toronto, and I also host every Thursday in Toronto. I have a weekly show there called Antidepressant Thursdays, and we always have a good time live with real slimy humans telling jokes and kissing grandmas.
So check out the Yuck Yucks website for tickets, yeah?
Yeah, that'll do. And you can check me out online and on Instagram at BOG.
BOG. Very cool. Well, Bryan, if you could do one more thing for me, if you could say it loud, say it proud, I love Newsload.
I love Newsload.
Thank you, Bryan. You're amazing. I adore you. You have a very tiny butt.
Thank you. I hope you have a great day.
This is the Newsload.